Are you when you find me? When you get notified, say hi. How are you all? If I'm looking up and down, it's because I'm on Instagram and Facebook at the same time, and LinkedIn. So hi, and YouTube. So let me know where you are. I can see you guys on Instagram. Hello. This is something that I have been focusing on, happiness. And it's something that so many people can relate to because my inbox has been absolutely buzzing today. So as you come in, say hi. Hey, Rizal, good to see you. Let me know that you're here. Now, hey, Debs, if you are someone who's been in my will for a while, hi, Mum, then say, hi, Mum. Then say, you can just say hi. If you're someone who's new and maybe you've just come across me or you just found something, hey, Lise, good to see you. Then say new. Oh, Ali. I was thinking about you today. I'll pop you a message after this. So I wanted to talk about this because I think so many of us get it really wrong. And I was voice noting our copywriter today some email content for the next 4 weeks. So if you're not on our email list, if you click in the link here, if you click on the bio on Instagram, but if you click on that, then you'll get added to my email list. I send out an email a week. And when we've got other things coming up, we'll drop you a line and let you know as well. But one of the things I'm talking about is happiness, because I've always found that we kind of get it wrong. I certainly did get it wrong. And it's a syndrome. It's a syndrome, maybe even a disease, that we get stuck in this, I'll be happy when. And I'll be happy when, fill in the blank. It could be when I change my job, when the kids, when they go from toddlers to being in school. I'll be happy when I make this much money. I'll be happy when I've got this much in the bank. I'll be happy when. And you can just fill in whatever. And it's almost like we're always postponing happiness and almost suggesting that it's an end destination. Well, wouldn't life be really shit if we had to go through all of what we go through to be happy in the end? The reality is we never know when the end's going to be. And so the beauty of life, or I guess the secret of having a happy life, is to find happiness in the now, even if it feels sometimes unbearable. And listen, I am the first to hold my hands up and say, and Ali, I can relate. When you lose somebody in your life, or when you're dealing with grief, or when some really hard times hit, then it can be very difficult to find happiness in situations. There will be glimmers of sunshine, even in extreme darkness, but it's still difficult. And when things like grief or difficult times are happening to you, it can be really difficult to see the wood through the trees. It's why me and my friend Al's we focus on one thing a day, just one thing. What's your intention for that day? Just one thing. Does anyone else do the one rule? The one rule, type one rule if you do the one rule. If you don't do the one rule, it might be something that you want to implement. Just one thing a day. Sorry, my battery, I should have checked it before. But just one thing a day that can move the needle. Whether it's if you're having... That's my son. He's put it in whenever I plug my phone and it says, "Oi, don't put that in there." I know. He's 8 years old and he can do stuff like that. And I can't take it off because I don't know where it is. So one thing a day. I want to give you 3 top tips in being happier. And one of these things, I'm working on this stuff. I've been sharing with you in my stories today, like my day. And it's been a day where I have finally succumbed to trying to put me first. I did share in a post this morning that I'd recently had a life coach session. The guy called it Xavier. He's really amazing. And I really enjoyed the session. And, it's not necessarily all the time. I've been looking for big coaches and, tens and tens of thousands of pounds. And I was looking to invest in this. And then I thought about it and I thought, what do I actually need? I'm not looking for the business strategy. I have that. I'm not looking for finding myself. I know who I am. But maybe what I don't do is, I know now what I don't do, but one of the things that I wasn't doing was putting myself first. And I never realized what a difference it could make, because I always thought that it was just me being selfish. Like, me first? You joking? I've got kids. I've got a husband. I've got parents. I've got siblings. Like, how can I put me first? But when it was explained in the way that, like, if you got a cup, and if your cup is empty, there is nothing to overflow and to give to others. And when your cup isn't full, it's probably because you're doing what we all do. We're not getting enough sleep. We're not taking care of ourselves. We're doing everything and rushing around like everybody else, for everybody else. And we feel, and you can sometimes get completely to the end of your tether and think, I have got nothing left to give. And it only leads to feeling like you're having a flipping breakdown, or feeling like you're just spread so thin, you're just doing crap at everything, and you're winning at nothing, and you're letting people down. So it can actually have the complete opposite effect. You trying to be everything to everybody actually has the effect of, like, you feeling like you're doing nothing for anyone. And that's not a great pay. Let me know if you can relate to that. Let me know if this like rings a bell with you and you're like, yeah, actually, I totally get that. Don't make me feel like I'm completely on my own and I'm nuts. So in having the life coach session, one of the things he said was about me first, and he tested me. So we talked about me first, me first. I wrote it down in my book. I have a learning book for each month of the year, and I want to fill it. So I'll even show you to prove it, right? Me first, me first, me first, me first. And put it in a square, write over it really strong. And then the next thing he said was like, right, Em, I want you to write out the top like 5 things. They can be, your house, your lifestyle, your cars, anything you own, handbags, shoes. I don't have many of those. Is like people in your life, whatever, like write down your top 5. Bearing in mind, we've just spoken for like 10 minutes where he's literally drumming it into me, saying me first, write it down, underline it, really underline it, go over it, Emma, go over it. I'm like, okay. Thinking I'm like this really great student. And he says, write the 5 things down. So I put 2 kids joint first, because I can't pick between each one. Then I put Sean, then I put my mum and dad, then I put my brother. And so he's like, so what have you written? And he's like, show me it. So I showed him. Sorry. Oh God, I've gone off both. 2 secs. Hold on. Oh, Christ. I should still be here, but I've locked my screen. Hold on. I have the longest password in the world. There we go. Back. Sorry. So here's the test, and I'm totally lopsided on this one, but whatever. So he says, who have you put? So I show him my piece of paper, and then he's like, Em, have we not just talked for like 10, 15 minutes about me first? Oh, I was devastated. I thought, oh, shit. I don't like failing tests. I was like, but I laughed. I was like, wow, like, come on. This is crazy. And so you realize that we just have programs that have been set, which we can unset. We can change them. If we really want to make changes, we can change them. And so today was a day that I was really kind of working on intention and doing a me first day and thinking like, what do I want to do? What do I want my morning to be like? And so I'm just going to give you 3 things, because by the end of today, I can honestly say I have had the best day that I've had in such a long time. Like, I feel lighter. I feel more jovial. And life can get really serious sometimes, can't it? You're dealing with kids, you're dealing with marriages, you're dealing with relationships, you're dealing with families. Mine are wonderful. I know you're watching, Mum, so you're amazing. I don't have to deal. But you're trying to like spin so many plates, and it can feel really hard. So today, in my me first day, you can have a look at my stories. I've put them up everywhere. Have a little look what I did. Nothing crazy. I did stuff for others, but it was me first. And so that meant going to the gym and I just did a really light workout with my trainer, and I really enjoyed it. Me first. It was sitting down and doing my gratitudes. It was listening to my affirmations. I did a meditation. I can't do any longer than 10 minutes. It bores me, but I did 10 minutes and I was well chuffed with it. Had a bubble bath in the middle of the day. Naughty, hey? I also had another one about 7 hours later with the kids. I enjoy it. It fills up my cup. And when you're filling up your own cup, whatever overflows go to others. So if you're really filling it up, means you can give. And if you're someone who's like me, and you probably all are, that you like to help everybody else out and make sure everyone else is okay, then you need to fill up your cup so much more than others, so much more. And it's not selfish. It's you thinking about how you can give more to others. If that makes you feel more comfortable, then that is great. Then do that. That feels good. Do more of it. So number one is me first. That's a way to be happier. Me first. What do I want? What makes me happy? What brings me joy? What do I enjoy doing? Hey, Kai. The second thing is good practices. Now, we are all guilty of not doing things that we know we should do, and I get it. And no one's superwoman. And me and my lovely friend Cornelia, who's also my personal trainer, we were having a chat today while I was on the cross trainer, and she was saying, when you were talking about getting up early and having this really early morning, like, I can't do it. It doesn't make me feel good. And I'm like, then you don't do it, right? And she's like, no, absolutely not. Because just because somebody else does it and it really works for them, it doesn't mean you're less than or not good enough, or you're not as, not as great as they are, or not as disciplined as they are. It just means you're acknowledging, like, that does not work for me. And if you try and make it work, and if you feel resistance to it, but you push through it because you're like, well, good people do this, and smart people do this, and people with discipline do this, it's going to feel like crap. And there's no point in doing it. For example, Cornelia's like, hey, Kay. Cornelia was like, like, if I do that all day, I'm like drinking coffee. I don't feel like I have natural energy. I'm drinking those Monster energy drinks. Like, it's not healthy. And then later on in the day, I'm exhausted. I don't have the patience with the kids. I can't be bothered to cook a healthy meal, and it all goes downhill. So what would be the point in pushing yourself because you hear somebody say, oh, it's all about a morning routine, which for me, I like a good morning routine, but it doesn't mean that morning has to start at 5 a.m. It could start at 7:15. It could start at 8 o'clock, whenever you say it starts. It's what is right for you. So the good practices that you should be putting in place, because you know what makes you feel good. You know that when you do those things, you feel better. So it's helping yourself. It's putting me first. It's having good practices, which means that when you find the right thing for you, make sure you keep doing it. And that is discipline. And it seems silly because you're like, well, if it was that amazing, I would just be able to do it. And it's not true. Most things take discipline, even if we love doing them. Good practices are, for me, they are a meditation. When you get over 40, I talk about this all the time, you can't physically open your eyes in the morning. There is something that happens at 40 where, like, you can't open your eyes. So I'm there like this, and I go for my headphones or my earpods, or if Sean's already up, I'll just put my phone next to my ears and I sit there and I do, I think it's a 7-minute meditation. And it's about having, like, positive energy for that day. And you know what? It works well for me. It's good for me. Might be good for you. It's only on YouTube. It's free. I just go on there, and whatever I want for that day, I'll type in and find. If I want positive energy, I'll look for positive energy. If I want to think about money mindset, I'll type in money. If I want to think about more self-belief or more confidence, I'll type in that. There's something on there for absolutely everybody. And you've got to figure out and pick one that works for you, especially with a voice that works for you. Because if it's an annoying accent or it just doesn't sound good to you, you're not going to vibe with it. So picking something that feels good to you. Another one of my good practices is affirmations. So you can record yourself. I know it's cringe, but don't worry, you can put headphones in and no one has to listen to it. You can listen to affirmations again on YouTube. They do those. You can sit and write them out. I enjoy doing that. There's also gratitudes. I do gratitudes in the morning. And sometimes if I can't fit them in the morning, or I booked a meeting in and the kids were like, oh, I don't beat myself up. So I'm like, you're supposed to do that first off. I just do it later on. I just don't miss it, but I do it. Number 3, and this can be a little bit trickier, but this is finding purpose. So, hey, love. This is finding purpose. Now, I know that, she likes my hair, really. Oh, thanks, Alice. I never fall back to sleep, Kaylee, because I choose like a positive energy meditation, and it really is uplifting. Another thing to do if you fall asleep is maybe do some breath work in the morning. So if you put on a YouTube thing about breath work and energy, I do it when I'm going to the gym in the car. It's like different breathing techniques. anyone drives past me, I look like an absolute mentalist, but I don't care. You get to that place in life, don't you? That stage, that age, whatever it is, where you're like, I don't care what anyone else thinks. I'm doing it because it feels all right for me and it works for me. I don't care what anyone else thinks. Finding purpose can be really something that people come up against, like a stumbling block. And I think it's this like kind of be all and end all. And if I find purpose, then I got to do this thing for the rest of my life. And if I could just find my purpose, then this will be the one thing. And the reality is, you can find purpose in one moment, and a couple of months later that can change, and you can feel purposeful doing something else. And you've got to find whatever it is that you feel excited about doing. If you really love helping people and you're in a job, like I was when I was in the police, that I really loved, and I did it because I really wanted to help people and wanted to make a difference. I felt like I had purpose. And then when that came to an end, where I felt like I didn't really have purpose anymore, that was a reason for that. I didn't really feel like I had any purpose. I didn't feel like I was making a difference. I'm like, I need something else. And then I went into the world of entrepreneurship, and I realized I was able to find purpose in a different way. And that's always evolving. You're able to find purpose in different ways. You don't have to find one thing that's you for the rest of the life. And if you change your mind, it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. You're a human being. You only have one life, and it's only your life to live. And if you change your mind and your purpose changes, that's okay. The problem is, just like happiness we think of as an end destination, we can think purpose is an end destination, or we just have one purpose and we're all on this search and, for finding it, and then everything's going to be okay, and I'll be happier, and I'll be, more purposeful, and I'll be motivated and disciplined. And it just doesn't work like that. Nothing's that end destination until it's actually the end destination, at which point it's too late. So we have to concentrate on making the difference now, making the changes now, creating the habits and the disciplines that you like, that serve you, not what someone like me says to do. I'm only sharing with you my experiences. And I always think everyone kind of gives you this buffet spread of stuff, and what you like, take, and what you don't, leave at the table. You don't need to eat it all. Wish someone had told me that. Love a buffet. You know what I mean, though. Inside of Entrepreneursity, we're doing a happiness challenge. For all of you students, hi. It starts on the 7th of March, and it's 5 days. And I'm going to be live every day, and I've got a workbook, and I'm working through things with you. One of the things about me first is that you've got to know yourself. And I know that there have been times in my life where I've completely and utterly lost myself. To the point where I think this time last year, I didn't know what my favorite color was. And it really upset me. I remember crying to Graham, who I was working with, on moving with my grief, I guess. And I said to him, like, I don't even know who I am anymore. Like, I don't even know what my favorite color is. And I was really upset about this. And now I realize, like, I like quite different colors, and it depends what my mood is that day or what the season is. Like, it's really not that big a deal. Nothing is ever final until it's final, at which point it's game over. So we've got to find happiness in the now. We've got to find doing the things that feel good to us in the now. So the happiness challenge for you students, come along. If you're not a student, you can join the email list. I don't know why I'm pointing over there. It's probably down there or up there, depending on where you're watching. And I'll be sharing little bits of that happiness challenge in the emails as well. Today has been a great day, and I'm glad I got to share the end of it with you. I am off to bed now for a nice, healthy bedtime, so I can be up nice and early with lots of energy. I've just indulged in a little Highlights hot chocolate. That's my guilty pleasure. And a bowl of strawberries. Me and Wills did it. Anything to stay up for an extra 10 minutes. He's normally like, Mum, can I have some crisps? Mum, can I have a cookie and milk? He's lactose intolerant. I'm like, no, it's never going to end well. So it's a hot chocolate, and off to bed I am for a little meditation before I snooze away. So I hope you have a wonderful sleep tonight. I hope you get up in the morning, you stick on that meditation, whatever one it is for you, and you start your day with positive energy, and you start your day thinking about me first. Me first. If you're not on the email list and the link won't work, just type list in the comments and we'll get you added to it. No props at all. Take care. Have a wonderful evening.